Picture this, 3 in the morning. You are lying, awake staring at the ceiling. Your car could break down tomorrow. You could lose your job next week. Your laptop might die today. You already know you could not handle any of it, not without debt, not without that specific kind of panic that only people who have lived paycheck to paycheck truly understand. Now imagine the exact same night, same ceiling, same fears, except this time you have $10,000 sitting in your savings account. Suddenly none of those disasters feel catastrophic anymore. The car repair becomes a Tuesday afternoon problem. The job loss becomes 3 months to find something better. The emergency becomes something you handle instead of something that destroys you. That shift from catastrophe to inconvenience is not just financial. It is neurological. And today I will show you exactly why $10,000 is the number that changes everything. Not a million, not 100,000. $10,000. Here is what nobody tells you about living without savings. The problem is not just the money itself. The problem is the mental energy it consumes every single day. When you have zero saved, every day requires dozens of tiny survival calculations. Do I buy the name brand or the generic? Do I go to that dinner or come up with an excuse? Is this check engine light going to ruin me this month? Each of these micro decisions drains real mental energy. By the end of the day, you are exhausted, not from work, from constantly calculating whether you can afford to exist. Psychologists call this decision fatigue, and it is silently stealing your ability to think clearly, perform well, and build any kind of future. The moment you cross $10,000 in savings, your brain chemistry literally changes. Neuroscientists found that financial security directly reduces cortisol, which is your body's primary stress hormone. This means reaching this milestone does not just change your bank account. It changes how your body responds to daily life. You sleep better, you think more clearly, you become more confident and more willing to take calculated risks that actually move your life forward, instead of keeping you frozen exactly where you are. There is something fascinating that also happens to your relationship with risk when you have zero savings. Every decision feels dangerous. Taking a new job, moving cities, asking for that promotion you have wanted for 2 years. All of these feel like gambling because you have no cushion if anything goes wrong. But with $10,000 in the bank, those same decisions feel manageable. You are not reckless. You are just no longer paralyzed. And the difference between paralyzed and simply cautious is the difference between staying exactly where you are and actually moving your life forward. The math behind this number is also very specific. Car repairs average between $500 and $3,000. Medical emergencies, for most people, fall under $5,000. 3 months of basic living expenses, costs between $4,000 and $8,000 depending on where you live. This means that once you cross $10,000, you are effectively protected from the vast majority of financial disasters that keep people permanently trapped in the paycheck to paycheck cycle. Not all disasters, but most of them. And most is enough to completely change how you experience daily life. But the most powerful transformation has nothing to do with the math. It is identity. The people who successfully reach $10,000 in savings do not think of it as a temporary sacrifice. They think of it as becoming a different type of person. And that identity shift changes everything downstream. When you see yourself as someone who saves money, you start noticing opportunities you never saw before. You start thinking longer term. You gain the mental space to think about investing, about passive income, about retirement. Not because you became a financial genius overnight, because you finally have room to think beyond just surviving until Friday. There is also a confidence factor that is impossible to ignore. When you have money saved, you carry yourself differently. You negotiate better. You walk into job interviews from a position of choice, not desperate.